Hey there, my foxy peeps. So on to part 2 that I'm just like continuing to do all day long, or however long it takes me to chit-chat to y'all about what makes me me. And so the last video talked about how when I was growing up as a child. So this one will now be part 2. So me going to school. Now, mind you, again, I grew up out in the middle of nowhere. I didn't have, so-called friends. I had my brothers. And that was all that I knew. And at this point, I didn't even have cousins yet that I could chit-chat with, I mean, there was a few neighbors, but they were like, mom and dad's friends, not really, friends for, kids to play with. Even when I went to church, I didn't even have anybody to talk to. The kids in the church was just me and my brothers. That was it. And so when I went to school, it was really hard on me. Because here I am, I'm in this school. I was brought up, don't talk to strangers. If someone talks to you, run, away, somewhere, far, far away. And I can remember kindergarten. Now, that was the first time that I ever seen any other kids, other than, when we'd go to, like, the grocery store once a month, or, to Billings once in a blue moon. And so here I was, in school. I didn't know anybody at all. Didn't have really any friends. And I went out on the playground. I mean, I did make some friends in my younger years, because there was, like, one kid that I actually didn't know. And, my dad would deliver hay either, to that family, or he worked for the father of this other family. So I knew a couple people. Not well, but I knew them. So I had one girl who was nothing more than a tomboy, just like myself. So we literally, cowboy boots, cowboy hat, everything. And then there was this one boy, little red-headed boy. That's all I can remember in kindergarten. Going home that day was like, oh my god, I just met this red-headed boy. And it ended up that my dad sold hay to his dad. But, I'm out there on the playground. The school bell rings. And I didn't go back to class. I was like, I want to play. I don't want to go to school. And the teacher came out and was like, you're supposed to be in class. And I was like, my mommy told me not to talk to strangers, so I can't talk to you. So they had to go and get my big brother, because I wouldn't talk to a stranger. And so my big brother had to come and get me and take me back to my classroom. And, I mean, I'd kind of chit-chatted with people. And, mind you, I sat on a school bus early in the morning till I'd get to school. And then after school, I would catch the school bus and I would have to go back home. And it would take like, I'd say about like a half an hour to an hour, about 45 minutes for this drive, which was only 11 miles out of town, but, drive, putt, stop, drive, putt, stop. Because, you'd have to pick up every kid on the way. So it might have been about a half an hour. I don't know. But anyway, literally, growing up, my mom would try and force me to dress like a girl. She would put pink on me. To this day, pink is an evil word in my vocabulary. I detest the color pink. I detest it. It's just... ugh. Pink is just not my thing. Even at the age of 5 or 6. Oh, I went to school when I was 6. Well, I turned 6. But even at that age, when the teacher asked, what is your favorite color? The first word out of my mouth is black. I loved the color black, even as a itty bitty little child. I mean, all I ever wanted to wear was black this, black that, black this, you know, everything black. Of course, I had a mother who would try and force me to wear pink or yellow. That is another color that I detest. I hate yellow. It's too bright and happy. It just makes me cringe. I don't know. I am more of a red, purple, maybe a blue. I don't mind green. But my all-time favorite would have to be black. You know, like right now I'm wearing my black sweater that has bell sleeves. So that was my favorite thing. And I can even remember, I don't know, you know, skipping a couple years. And, you know, I made a couple more friends by the first grade. You know, I made a few more friends, you know, another redhead, which was awesome. Only she was more of a carrot top. She wasn't like red like I'm red. You know, I have like red, auburny hair. Of course, I do dye my hair, but again, I'm a redhead who dyes my hair red. Don't ask, don't judge, I don't know. That's just me. And I have no gray in my hair. No gray whatsoever. There is absolutely no gray. I have like some straight blonde hairs, but that's because I'm an auburn. But, you know, I had, you know, these other friends, and they'd move away, or, you know, as we grew older, it was like, she's weird, because she wears nothing but cowboy clothes. That was another thing. I mean, Montana, you think cowboys, you know? And, you know, that is not the case. They wanted, you know, fashion type statement items. And at that time, I don't know what the fashion was, because, you know, it was the 80s and, well, it was like 1988, 1989, early 90s, you know, when I went to school, in the primary school. And by second grade, you know, I had a few more friends, and yes, I grew up on an Indian reservation. So there was Native Americans that went to this school, and a lot of my friends ended up being Native American, and not really, you know, saying anything on that, but, you know, it was just a different type of growing up, I guess you'd have to say. Now, they did not judge me for being who I was. Now, yes, I was a little cowgirl, but, you know, that's what made me, me, you know, and my friends helped me go into that transition of who I am to this day. And there was this one little boy, the little redhead boy from kindergarten, who I adored. I literally adored him. And he was my bestest friend. You know, we would literally look for each other the second that we'd get to school. And we would say goodbye when we'd have to catch school bus, because he would go on to a different school bus out of town, and I would end up going the other way. He'd end up going more towards Crow Agency, known as Sarpy. I went more towards St. Xavier and Fort Smith. So I rode the St. Xavier bus. But, you know, I don't know how many buses there were, but there was a lot of buses, let's just say that. So, I'm gonna leave it off this, because, you know, school really didn't, you know, get me too, like, in primary school, I didn't really get bullied, you know. There was a few kids that would say, "You're kind of weird," and I'd just be like, "Okay," and walk away, like, whatever, you know, because growing up with brothers, and my brothers would literally torment me, that I let it go in one ear and right out the other, you know, because it just never really bothered me that somebody would say, something like that. Because I was just like, whatever. I was taught that if you made fun of me, you were jealous of me. So, to me, I was just like, what? You want what I got? You want to be a girl because you're a dude? That's what was in my mind. Because they were making fun of me, so therefore I assumed that, you know, they were jealous because I did things better than they did. I don't know. But, leaving it on that note, part 2, we will now go to part 3. So, like, comment, or subscribe, because I randomly put up videos, and thanks for watching. Bye!